There are lots of different baits you can use for carp fishing, but these are the most popular ones. These are boilies. Now I like freezer bait. You don't get any preservatives in freezer bait, so whenever I can, I do use frozen boilies, and I keep them cool, even if I'm on a day session in a cooler bag like this. This is called X-Cool luggage, and as you can see, it's very insulated. Now, when you buy X-Cool products, you actually get supplied with freezer blocks that fit into recesses in the bag. You don't need them for short sessions like this one, because there's plenty of insulation in the bag. But if you go into the water for 3 or 4 days, if you put the freezer blocks in and store your bait in a bag like this, you'll keep it frozen for a long time. You can also get these smaller bags that fit inside, and they keep the bait even cooler. So 4 or 5 days in reasonably cool weather is not a problem. Even in hot weather, 2 or 3 days with freezer bait is fine. These are the boilies I'm going to use today. It's a product by Dynamite Baits called the Source. It's a very good boilie, very nutritious, full of fish meals, not overpowering in terms of its smell and its taste, instantly acceptable by carp everywhere, top quality bait that's highly digestible. Carp can eat this and process it very, very quickly, so they can eat a lot of sauce, and when you really get them feeding on it, you can catch a lot of fish. So the Source it is for me. It's not the only boilie I use, but it's probably my favourite one. And to get the bait out there, I'm going to use a catapult. Now, another standard way of getting bait out into a carp swim is to use a thing called a spod. We're going to have a look at that a little bit later on, but for the time being, using the marker float as my target, I'm going to put probably about 50 or 60 baits out into that area. I'm going to fish one rod directly on top of the bait and one rod just off it. That can often produce a bigger bonus fish. So I'm going to have 2 rods in one fairly tight area, and then the third rod I'm going to fish way off that bait, probably over some particles, but I'll do that later on. For the time being, I'm going to use the float as a target, and I'm basically going to use the catapult. I'm going to try and get about 50 to 60 baits out there. The conditions are reasonably good. The fish won't have any problem eating that sort of quantity of bait, but I'm not putting in so much that I'm basically going to kill my chances. A lot of people struggle when they're using a catapult, and the technique is fairly simple. Just remember to keep your right arm rigid, the arm that's holding the catapult. Grip the pouch with your left arm, keep that catapult arm rigid, and then just pull back on the elastic. I tend to cock the catapult over to the side, so I twist it 90 degrees. Right arm rigid, left arm doing all the work by stretching the elastic. It'll do you no good whatsoever to actually move the catapult during the catapulting action. It doesn't get you any more distance, and all it will do is lose accuracy. So keep that right arm locked out rigid. And get the left arm to do all the work.